Field channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on AEW professional wrestling. It is Wednesday night, February 7th, 2023. Here with me tonight, my co-host. Sometimes he joins me on Wednesday nights. But hey, we got obligations in life and we can make it when we can make it. But he's here tonight to talk about what was a fantastic episode of Dynamite. Wesley Williams. Wes, what's up, dog?
What's up, man? Great to be back on the AEW Dynamite Reunite, a killer show live in Phoenix, Arizona tonight with AEW Dynamite as we start to inch closer and closer to Revolution on March 3rd. Man, we got some big stuff to talk about tonight. Big show coming up for AEW on March 13th that we'll definitely be talking about for sure. Great matches all around, especially with the opening match and with the main event. I mean, Joseph, we got just a plethora of stuff coming out of AEW tonight, and man, I can't wait to talk about it.
Dude, I mean, we already knew last week that they were going to build us up to be one of the biggest dynamites in quite some time. And I can't remember the last time, honestly, we've had this energetic of a crowd. Shout out to the Phoenix crowd. They were awesome tonight. It gave me 2019 flashbacks in early AEW. The card was stacked. I know a lot of people going into last week's show were like, man, you look at this card, including Wes. We just talked off camera before we hit record. This looks like a very skippable show, meaning last week's show. And then you look tonight, and it's like, man, this is pay-per-view caliber worthy shit here, man. I mean, you're talking Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve, Sting and Darby, and versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the tag team titles. I mean, what a night. Fantastic stuff. Um, there's so much to talk about with tonight's show. Obviously, the big announcement that everybody was talking about throughout the day, it kind of got leaked on social media earlier in the day. AEW is coming to Boston. They're going to the TD Garden for a second time. And their big show is Big Business. Obviously, we know who is from Boston. They didn't even try to hide little keys on the graphic for Big Business. It's all purple. You got two M's on the top of the screen. You got Boston in the left corner, which you can easily point out. I guess we could talk about that first, man, since we had a lot of in-ring action, but we could talk about this announcement first. It's been reported for a while now that Mercedes Moné was going to show up in AEW. A lot of people thought, Wes, that she was going to be in the Royal Rumble, and there's just no way that was going to happen. But now she is looking for a new chapter in her wrestling career. She's going to AEW. It's not a hidden secret anymore. And man, I can't imagine how much she's making and how much of a bag Tony Khan is giving her when she comes on March 13th. But what's your thoughts on this whole situation, man? Big Business going to Boston March 13th. It's a big deal. It really is.
Really is. I mean, it is big business, man. I mean, it's in the title, big business. Big business is actually happening in AEW, man, as we lean towards not only Revolution, but we lean towards that March 13th show in Boston at the TD Garden. Yeah, like you said, Joseph, it's pretty obvious who's going to be showing up on that Wednesday night. None other than Mercedes Moné. Who knows? We might even have some other appearances too. I mean, it may not just be Mercedes. We might have Mercedes and maybe another big sign. I mean, I've heard people talk about Okada. And Okada, of course, he's finished up with New Japan. He's a free man. He can go anywhere he wants. There have been rumblings on where he could go next, and I personally, I think I could see him just more so in AEW. He's already worked with AEW in the past. I can very well see him showing up too. But we all know the big reveal for that show will be Mercedes Moné for sure. I mean, why else would they have this big theme show, Big Business, happening live in Boston at the TD Garden of all places, home of the Boston Celtics. So obviously it's going to be a big show. Looking forward to it, man. It's huge. AEW definitely, this is the momentum that they need, as they head towards not only Revolution, but for this show, this is definitely the momentum that they need right now as they, continue to make big moves and they continue to build up all these storylines and everything. And so I love it, man. As an AEW fan, I'm very excited.
Absolutely. You mentioned that word momentum, and this is absolutely what AEW needs. I don't think they're having a terrible start to the year, but I mean, there's not enough people talking about AEW right now and what's going on with AEW, and I think it's the television, and it's not as captivating as it once was. And I think tonight was a start of it, and now you look at the future, oh shit, we got two big AEW shows coming up. We got Revolution on March 3rd, and you got Big Business on March 13th. And obviously, that's going to be a big night. It is the worst kept secret in all of wrestling. Mercedes Moné is going to be in AEW, and she is going to be a big time player. She's probably going to be the face of that AEW women's division. And now, Wes, you look at that roster that the AEW women's division has now. You're talking Toni Storm, Deonna Purrazzo, Thunder Rosa, Julia Hart has gotten so much better. You got Sky Blue, you got Chris Statlander, you got Willow Nightingale, you got a potential returning Jamie Hayter soon. This women's division looks to be in a much better place than it was 2 years ago. And that's exciting to me, man. There's a lot of fresh matchups for her in AEW. And at the end of the day, man, I just want her to be happy. And it feels like she is going to be happy in AEW. She tweeted out the other day, it feels so damn good to be able to execute a vision. Apparently, she's been shooting angles for her AEW debut. And I'm very excited for her, man. Do you have anything else to say before we actually get into the review?
No, I'm, just like you, man. I'm very excited as well, man. Mercedes is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world today. She deserves all the attention. She deserves that publicity. She deserves that top spot in any women's division. Whether that be AEW, WWE, TNA, it could be any company. Mercedes deserves that top spot, man. She works her ass off, and despite what the trolls on the internet want to say, they want to continue to mock her or make fun of her or whatever, and say that she was just she does bad business or whatever, because after everything that happened with WWE with her and Naomi and everything, and Naomi, of course, she went back to WWE. She was able to get back and everything, and she's gonna have, hopefully she'll have a good prime spot for her on their television show. But for as far as Mercedes goes, this is a big opportunity for sure for her, and it's huge for AEW as well, because this is probably the biggest women's signing that they've had just ever, and then the entirety of AEW. No offense to any of the other women, obviously we've just talked about how stacked their division is becoming now, with Deonna Purrazzo being the latest big signing, and you got mentioned names like Toni Storm, Sky Blue, Julia Hart, Jamie Hayter is set to come back this year. I mean, we're going to be in for a real treat as far as women's wrestling goes, and hopefully we continue to see things progress as far as the women's division goes and with women's wrestling as a whole with AEW. But I'm nothing more than excited for Mercedes Moné showing up in AEW on March 13th.
It's very exciting, man, and it's just another show that we have to look forward to, and us wrestling content creators be able to cover. It's very, very exciting. So let's get into the show here. Tonight's show took place in Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to that crowd, because they were lit the entire night. Shout out to them. The show opened up with Hangman Adam Page against Swerve Strickland. The winner was taking on Samoa Joe at Revolution. This accomplished so many things in this match. First of all, the match was great. Going into it, Wes, I didn't know how they would be able to, I guess, level up from their Texas Death Match. I don't think there was a way they were going to level up from that match. Was the Texas Death Match better than this match tonight? Absolutely. That match will be talked about for years to come. However, this match was excellent. A lot coming out of it. And I think the biggest thing coming out of this, Wes, is we are getting a potential double turn here with Swerve Strickland going into this mega underdog babyface who everybody wants to see win the world championship, and Hangman Page going heel, who is the guy that will do anything in his power to make sure that Swerve is not going to be the world champion. Swerve wrestled like a babyface in this match. Hangman Page wrestled like a heel. And the crowd was clearly behind Swerve Strickland in this match. And as I was saying, I didn't know what they were going to do in this match to be better than their other matches. Swerve certainly had a hell of a match. I didn't have it on my bingo card tonight that he was going to break out a buckshot lariat, and a very good one at that as well. He wanted no interference. He got no interference tonight. I guess you could say this is the funny spot of the match. Swerve had Hangman laid out on a table, and one of the legs of the table just broke. I have no idea what happened there. So he threw Hangman back into the ring, hit the 450 in the ring, and Hangman kicked out of that. Swerve hit a lot of Swerve stomps. I think he hit 2. He hit a last call. Then we get to the last 5 minutes of this match. They're fighting on the outside of the ring. Hangman takes a steel chair, acting like he's going to hit Swerve, and he whacks Prince Nana in the back with the steel chair. And this crowd hated Hangman Page for doing that. He got booed out of the building at the Footprint Center for that spot. And he was soaking it in too. He was playing up to the boos that he was getting from that spot. He then hit the buckshot lariat, and Swerve got his. Or that was before this. He thought Prince Nana put his foot on the rope. Swerve actually put his foot on the rope. Then he took out Prince Nana with the chair. And then they're fighting on the ring canvas. And Swerve hits a Deadeye onto Hangman through the table. He then hits his other finisher. I don't know what it's called. But the crowd goes crazy. The crowd goes 1, 2, and the bell rings. And I knew as soon as he hit that move, the bell was going to ring in a result of a draw. Swerve, being the babyface that he is now, wanted 5 more minutes against Hangman Adam Page. And this, I was a little bit confused about. Hangman got on the microphone and was like, look, you were supposed to beat me in this match, and tonight you didn't beat me. And then he said no. Tony Schiavone got on the microphone and he said, I just got told by Tony Khan that both Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland are #1 contenders for the World Championship. And it'll be a triple threat match. Swerve, Hangman, and Samoa Joe at Revolution. Hangman Page was pissed off about this. Swerve was laughing. And there you go. Triple threat match at the pay-per-view. Excellent opening match. I feel like we executed on a double turn here. Hangman Page is a heel. Swerve Strickland's a babyface chasing the world championship. I love it, man. What are your thoughts, Wes?
Yeah, this was an incredible way to start the show tonight with this one-on-one match. I mean, Hangman and Swerve have nothing but just amazing chemistry when they're in the ring together, whether that be a death match or just a regular one-on-one. These guys know how to work. So I was expecting this match to be a banger anyway, and sure enough, that's what we got. I love so many of the spots in in this match here, and yeah, the crowd was definitely pro Swerve over in Phoenix tonight, man. And I love how Hangman has just been embracing more of that heel role, and like you said, Joseph, I could very well see a double turn happening soon with both Swerve and Hangman. And Swerve, I remember I caught the clip too. I think it was on Collision where Swerve was even telling Prince Donna that he didn't want him. He wants him there at ringside, sure, but he doesn't want him to get involved. Like Swerve specifically told him that, like, I gotta handle this. Hangman is my business. I'm gonna handle it myself. I don't need you to get yourself involved so much in this. So that was showing kind of some baby faceness to Swerve, saying, kind of doing that the baby face thing of like, I'm doing this on my own. I'm not doing the cheap interference with my sidekick over here with my manager Prince Nana. But yeah, this was just excellent stuff all around. And I knew, and I predicted too before watching this match that the time limit draw was going to be the case for this match, because neither guy should take a legitimate fall at this point in time. Both guys are being booked very strong, and the only logical scenario here was for both guys to have the match end in a draw, and then we get a potential triple threat for the title at Revolution. And sure enough, that's what we're going to get. I am so excited for this match with Samoa Joe involved with these two guys. I mean, this is going to be probably a match of the year candidate, if I had to say. And just by this match alone tonight, this match between Hangman and Swerve, I would say so far this year that's been the best television match we've seen as far as any program goes in any company. I think this is by far, just so far, the best television match we've seen on any given weekly show in wrestling. So I tip my invisible cap over to Hangman and Swerve. Man, these two, again, they have such amazing chemistry in the ring, and I cannot wait to see more when they get into the ring with them two and with Samoa Joe. I mean, it's going to be just a recipe for success.
I think it's time to have this conversation, man. Legitimately, I think Swerve and Hangman is one of the best rivalries in AEW ever. I mean,
yeah.
Look at how this rivalry started. This rivalry started with Swerve going into Hangman's house and basically going through his house and stuff like that. And he was the evil bastard heel going after a big baby face in Hangman Page. And I really think this whole Swerve babyface movement started back when he wrestled Hangman Page in his hometown of Seattle, Washington. And then after that, you got the Texas Death Match, and this match took this feud to a whole nother level. This was probably the most insane match I've ever seen in my entire life, the Texas Death Match that we got at Full Gear. And now they're both going for the World Championship, and it ultimately seems like Hangman is going heel with Swerve being the babyface that everybody is calling for to be the world champion, man. What a ride it's been. Would you put this as your best feud in AEW ever? I don't think I'm ready to do it, but I'm certainly putting it in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I think right now I'm sitting it as a top 5 rivalry for sure. I mean, it's by far and away one of the best rivalries we've ever seen in AEW. In that top 5 as well, I'd probably put like MJF and Punk. Their program was absolutely fantastic. Trying to think of other ones. I mean, you look at the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. You look at their All Out match they a few years ago. That was absolutely phenomenal. Those 4 guys always put on bangers together. FTR and the Briscoes. I mean, I know that's not really AEW; it's more so Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor is under the AEW banner. That trilogy we got with those two teams was just absolutely phenomenal in every sense of the word. But yeah, for sure, Swerve and Hangman has got to be a top 5 rivalry at this point in time. And the way things keep going with this rivalry, it could take that top spot. We'll have to see over time. But this has been one of the best programs that AEW has booked in their entirety as a company.
Absolutely, dude. It's only going to get better from here, I feel like. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But excellent match. And you guys got your 3-way at Revolution. So, next we had Toni Storm, Timeless Toni Storm, go up against the unranked Red Velvet, in a title eliminator match. And before we get into this whole match, and then we could talk about the match for a little bit, and then the segment with Deonna Purrazzo. Last week, the return of the AEW rankings happened. And I love that it's a sports-like feel. It makes matches feel important. Wrestlers want to climb up in the rankings. But when I saw these rankings for the first time last week, they made absolutely zero sense, in my opinion. Why, if you're going to go all out with these rankings, why are you putting the world champion, the TNT champion, the international champion in one ranking instead of having a top 5 for the world championship, a top 5 for the TNT championship, a top 5 for the international championship? And there's also been a couple names in there. Like, for an example, when they came up with the rankings for the tag team title feud, John Silver and Alex Reynolds were number 2 in the rankings. I can't remember the last time I've seen John Silver and Alex Reynolds even wrestle a match on AEW television. So it's just very confusing. I like the sports-like feel, but the rankings in general, from last week, it just doesn't make sense. I don't really like the layout of it at all. What are your takeaways on the rankings being back? And are you a fan of it or not?
No, I'm a fan of it being back. I just hope AEW just knows what they're doing with it, and they're booking it logically, because I think the rankings it just creates a more, I think, balanced and a more organized system of wrestlers trying to climb up to the rankings and to get a shot at whichever title they desire. But I haven't given a close look at all at the rankings, like how they've been set up now that they've been brought back. But from what I heard from what you just said, that's weird that they're putting 3 titles into one ranking. That doesn't make any sense, because before they had separate rankings for like each title and stuff, like TNT title, the world title, tag titles. I'm not sure why they're lumping the international, TNT, and world titles into one category, but
Right.
I don't know. That's weird to me. But I the only thing I just hope for, like I said, with the ranking system being back, is that they just know what they're doing. They book it logically, and that it doesn't become all jumbled up in a mess. Because there were issues of that before too, even with the rankings. And when it first came around, that it was like some things were a bit jumbled up. Things were kind of confusing. I just hope they have somebody, whoever's working the ranking system, whether that's Tony Khan himself, or if it's just somebody else, another creative person backstage. Hopefully they just know what they're doing, and that everything will be booked logically and fairly, and that we'll be able to, like, when we watch the product on television, that we'll be able to make sense of it. And so that's just the only thing I really hope for with it. So
Exactly. Yeah, I'm looking at this week's rankings. Hasn't come out yet, but I'm looking at last week's, and it's got rankings for men's championships, women's championships, the tag team titles, obviously, and the trios championships. I hate that. Each men's title should have their own ranking, not all the men's titles in one ranking. I hate that. I hate that concept of it so much. It's ridiculous. I just hope that I hope you're right. I hope that they just make sense of it. But right now, it just feels really stupid. And I love the sports-like feel, because now each match is like each match is important. It's like the example I gave last week. The Philadelphia 76ers are going out there to compete against the New York Knicks for a reason, to climb up in the standings. They wouldn't just go out there just like, you know what? We're just going to fuck around and play basketball tonight. Who cares, man? No, they're going out there every night to climb up in the standings. And now it gives a point for, I guess, storytelling, but I don't know. I just don't like the way they did the ranking. But that's my little tangent on the rankings. I had to do it after last week. But yeah, we get the unranked Red Velvet against Toni Storm. They had a good match. It was all right. Toni Storm, the whole point of, not point, but some of the point of Deonna Purrazzo against Toni Storm was Deonna Purrazzo is claiming she's one of the best technical women's wrestlers in the world. So how does Toni Storm win tonight? with a technical move, the ankle lock. Just a simple ankle lock, and she taps out Red Velvet. And Toni Storm Deonna Purrazzo gets in the ring, and it's a face-to-face with Toni Storm. And Toni Storm, I thought she was about to make out with her for a second. Yeah. And then she just walked away. And Luther got in the way, and Deonna Purrazzo looked pissed at Luther. And, that match got made official last week. But, dude, I think Deonna Purrazzo is going to bring the best out of Toni. I know Toni is doing some great character work right now with this Timeless Toni Storm gimmick. It's truly one of my favorite things on AEW television. But I think Deonna is going to bring a great match out of her. I really do. What's your thoughts on all of this and this feud overall so far going into their match at Revolution?
Yeah, decent little match tonight with Toni Storm and Red Velvet. I like that Toni won with submission with the ankle lock. Taking a shot at Deonna Purrazzo, knowing that Deonna Purrazzo is the technical wizard that she is. I think this will be a really solid match between the two. Obviously, there's history between them. They used to live together and stuff, and they know each other for many, many years. And Deonna's trying to figure out, what's going on with this Timeless Toni Storm gimmick. What is this? This is not you. This is just some facade you're putting on. You're just going absolutely crazy. So I like that. I am enjoying the build up to this, and I think the match we get at Revolution between the two should be nothing short of really solid. And this it should be a technical. I expect it to be a really technical masterclass between these two. And how Deonna Purrazzo brought up how she wants to bring that side out of Toni Storm that she knows very well, the side of Toni Storm where she fights the way that she used to. She has that fire underneath her. She's not doing all this show and dance, this gimmick, this whole like showmanship kind of thing with her. She's showing that grittier side to her. So I like that, and hopefully once we get to Revolution on March 3rd, we will see these two bring out the best in one another, and that Deonna brings out that fire of Toni Storm that she had before she transitioned in the Timeless Toni Storm gimmick. But Toni Storm with this gimmick has been just really entertaining every single week. I've even seen her do stuff off the shows in the gimmick, which has been very funny. I saw something with the Jericho Cruise recently where she does a little PA announcement thing for the people saying. So it's really funny. It's really good. Toni Storm is doing some of the best character work she's ever done.
I think it's the best.
I would say so. I mean, it's definitely over, and the crowd is not getting tired of it all, and I certainly am not tired of it, and it all works. And Mariah May and Luther being there with her, it adds on to the overall gimmick. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what these two women could do come Revolution. It should be a great showcase.
All right, we had the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli. They took on wrestlers from CMLL. They took on Volador Jr., Hechicero, and I believe Mascara Dorado, I think the other guy's name was. I'll give them credit. I thought the CMLL guys were impressive tonight. The crowd certainly loved them. They were chanting, "This is awesome." They were doing some really cool moves. But I feel like I still don't have a reason why I should care about these guys. Something's missing. And there was a rumor that came out this week that there's a possibility that with everything that's going on with New Japan Pro Wrestling right now, that the Forbidden Door show could involve AEW versus CMLL. Now listen, that is great and all. I'm sure CMLL has some other great luchadors, but how are you going to get me as a fan to care about CMLL? That's what I want. Did they have a good match tonight? They had a really good match against Blackpool Combat Club, but part of me sat there and was like, I just don't really care I don't care that much. Am I the only one, Russ?
No, I'm with you, man. Really, really fun stuff in this match tonight with these 6 guys. I mean, I was really impressed with some of the moves these CMLL guys were doing because they were
Yeah.
doing some moves in there. I was like, I didn't know that was possible, but the world of luchadors is amazing, man. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, I don't know anything about these guys. I don't watch CMLL. I don't watch the product. I'm sure there's many people that do, and kudos to you. But I need a reason to care. I need a reason to really invest in this whole thing going on with with the CMLL guys coming into AEW and taking on the AEW guys. And yeah, I mean, if Forbidden Door comes and we get the CMLL guys involved, I mean, we definitely need a reason to care, because the whole thing with Forbidden Door is when you had New Japan involved, it's like, okay, New Japan is like a more well known, I would say, overall wrestling brand, because I think more people overall will know about it compared to CMLL, because New Japan's is, I think, just on a bit more of a grander stage, and it's just you have guys over there in New Japan that are like, oh yeah, you know who these guys are, and so I think with CMLL they're just kind of lacking in that, like, because I really couldn't tell you really many of the guys in CLL, like I said, these 3 guys that showed up tonight. I mean, very impressive wrestlers. I give them all the credit, man. I mean, they did a hell of a job tonight. I was really impressed with their work. But again, I need a reason to care. Like, why are they here? Why are they invading AEW? Why are we getting this AEW versus CMLL showdown? As long as they can give me a storyline, a valid storyline, and a valid reason to care, then okay, we're good. But right now, and I don't know right now where this could really lead to. I don't know how much I could be intrigued as a fan going forward, but we'll see what happens with it. But as far as the match quality goes, yeah, very fun stuff tonight. Phoenix crowd was definitely into it. But yeah, just give me a reason to care. So.
Yeah, and there were 3 other CMLL wrestlers standing at ringside for this match, and Excalibur, that camera pans to them, was like, oh look, they got this person, and this person standing by the barricade watching this match. No background story on who these guys are, how long.
Well, one of them is Sin Cara. We do know that one of them is Sin Cara.
That's right. That's right. I think it's Mystico. I think it's him.
That is Sin Cara. So that's one guy we know.
But you're right. The whole what was so great about the Forbidden Door with New Japan and AEW is New Japan's a well-known company. We know who these guys are. Like, we know who Okada is. We know who Will Ospreay is. We know who Hiroshi Tanahashi is. We have no idea who these people are. We have never watched these people wrestle before tonight or Saturday. If you decided to watch Collision, I need a background story on these guys. I need to know why they're coming to AEW and trying to take over AEW. I need a storyline. I'm not saying that I think for sure this is going to be the Forbidden Door story, but I just want to know, why are they here and why are they trying to take over AEW? That's all I want. That's all I want. I don't think it's hard to ask. But at the end of the day, I don't know how long they're going to be here for. Quite frankly, I don't care. But the Blackpool Combat Club won. Thank goodness. The ending of the match was a ref bump. Claudio kneed Volador Jr. right in the nutsack, and he got the win for the Blackpool Combat Club. Then the other 3 luchadors jumped in the ring, and you got Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, Cool Hand Ange, and Daddy Magic running out in the ring. So there you go. There is your 6-man tag match with CMLL and the Blackpool Combat Club. Tony Khan made his big announcement. Big business, March 13th. Me and Wes already talked about it. If you want to listen to it again, just fast forward backwards to the start of the video, and we talked all about it there. I'm sure we'll be talking about it more as the weeks go on before we get to this show. So I'm sure they'll be putting teases on television. So we'll talk about it plenty more. If you want to listen to us talk about it again, just go at the beginning of the video. Chris Jericho against Konosuke Takeshita. The match was great. I will tell you that the match was great. When it comes to Jericho and putting over talent when he wants to, he is great at doing so. He put over Takeshita in a big way tonight. Um, Takeshita's awesome. I love Takeshita. The match was great. These individuals have been feuding for 6 months now. When's it gonna end? That's when's it gonna end? I'm really. Can we move on? Can we get Takeshita to bigger and better things? Can we get Powerhouse Hobbs to bigger and better things? Takeshita looked great tonight. Blue Thunder Bomb when Jericho was going off the he was going for the line saw, and Takeshita caught him before he could hit the line saw, and he threw him into a Blue Thunder Bomb, which I thought it was awesome. He hit the Blue Thunder Bomb again off the top rope. A little bit clunky. Jericho whiplashed hard, hitting down the ring canvas. I hope he's okay. But Takeshita won this match by tapping out Chris Jericho to his own move. He tapped out Chris Jericho to the Lion Tamer. Takeshita won. And Don Callis is praising him up on the ring on the stage. You did great. You made him quit. All that stuff. Again, great match. I really enjoyed it. I kind of thought Chris Jericho was going to win this match. We were going to get some involvement from Will Ospreay after the match. I'm so glad that didn't happen because as much as I love Ospreay, we don't need another Ospreay Jericho match in AEW. I don't think it's over. I wish it was. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, great match tonight. Crowd was into it as well. Again, another shout out to the Phoenix crowd. I mean, they were hot all night. And Jericho, I gotta say, Jericho took some big bumps tonight. I mean, that Avalanche Blue Thunder Bomb. I mean, that he whiplashed hard on the canvas, and then even before that, there was like a drop kick that he took into like the ropes by Takeshita. I mean, it's like Jericho. I gotta say, he took some pretty nasty bumps tonight. But yeah, I mean, all things considered, really solid stuff from both guys. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, this feud's been going on way too long. I don't know what the end game is here. I really don't. I can't tell you what could really be the end of all of this. I really hope an Ospreay does officially come in and to AEW once he's finished up with all of his other obligations, which is coming up here. I'm pretty sure he's just about finished up now. I hope they honestly don't involve him in this. To be honest with you, I know Kyle Fletcher is a part of the Don Callis family. I've heard people talk about maybe Ospreay come in and try to turn Kyle Fletcher, away from the Don Callis family and kind of have Ospreay come in as a face. But I just feel like Ospreay should probably come in and do something better than this because honestly, this feud is just run stale, and I feel like Jericho, he's a legend and everything. I'm not trying to discredit him too much, but I feel like a lot of the stuff he's involved in these days when it comes to AEW, he's just it's just not that exciting. It's not that intriguing. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of turned off to it now. And, it just seems like he doesn't have that, I guess, spark to him that he had in previous feuds in AEW. Like when AEW was, first beginning and stuff, and he became the first world champion. I feel like that then, and even after he lost the title, he was like, he had feuds going on that were like you could sink your teeth into a little bit. I feel like now it's just kind of ran its course, and I feel like Jericho's getting older now. He's in his 50s. I don't know how much longer Jericho wants to keep doing this or whatever, but I don't know really what we could see with the end of this feud. I really don't. I'm hoping it'll be something good. Takeshita deserves the world. This dude should be in title contention. Instead, he's just in this weird mid-card purgatory right now, and I feel like AEW is like they're putting him over and they're making him look strong, which is good, but it's just they just don't know fully what to do with them because there's so much talent in AEW now. I just feel like they just don't have a proper idea of what they really want to go through with him. And I mean, honestly, if anything, he should be an international champion, TNT champion at the very least right now. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll continue to push Takeshita and get him into title contention sooner rather than later, because you don't want to run the course with Takeshita where people are going to start getting tired of him and people are going to start being like, okay, well, you're not pushing him when we want you to push him, and now we're kind of tired of him. And it's like you don't want that with Takeshita, man. This guy is a bright young talent. He's still in his 20s. This guy is already so great at the age he's at, and the dude looks like a star. When you look at the guy, he looks like a star. The guy's got the build. He's got the in-ring work, man. I mean, they got the mouthpiece with Don Callis. I mean, he's got everything really working for him. So I'm hoping for the best for him. Hopefully AEW will know what they're doing with him sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. He's awesome. He should be in title contention instead of being in this meaningless, worthless feud with Chris Jericho. Getting the rub from Chris Jericho is not as special as it once was in the early stages of AEW. It's absolutely ran its course. And what's really next for Chris Jericho? I don't know. And quite frankly, you know what? There's way better guys in the company right now than Chris Jericho. So that is the least of my worries in AEW. But as far as Ospreay goes, I'm so glad he didn't appear tonight and get himself involved with a potential another Chris Jericho match. I think he came out and he said in New Japan that he will be in AEW for the Road to Revolution. I don't know if he's going to wrestle at Revolution, but here's my pitch for Ospreay if he is going to wrestle at Revolution. Right now, we're 4 weeks away from the pay-per-view. Jon Moxley has no storyline whatsoever. They just wrestled each other at Wrestle Kingdom with David Finlay for the U.S. Championship, I believe it was. Jon Moxley has nothing going on right now, man. Just put him in the ring with Moxley for 20 minutes at Revolution. The crowd will eat that shit up, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm for it. I would be all for it. Yeah, I mean, I know they're doing that stuff with CMLL or whatever, but I don't know if that's like a real feud. I think the CMLL involvement, but yeah, no, give me Moxley and Ospreay. I'll happily take it. I don't care. You don't even have to really build up that much with these two guys because, like you said, they faced off with David Finlay at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP US title. So there's already like something there to work with. So
now, you know what the story of that match is? It's Will Ospreay against Jon Moxley. It's going to be outstanding, and you're not going to fucking complain. That's the story. So, for all you people that, hey, there needs to be a story for every match, sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy it, man. So, but that brings us to the main event. The main event tonight was Sting and Darby Allin against Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Sting's family was at ringside. He had his two brothers with him. Match started out hot. They're fighting in the crowd. 3 minutes into this match, Sting is on top of a rafter, and he jumps on top of Big Bill and Ricky Starks. Full-blown crashing down. Phoenix is chanting, "You still got it." They're throwing trash cans, hitting each other with steel chairs. They got a commercial break. We get back. They got a table set up on the outside. Darby Allin goes for a suicide dive onto Big Bill. Big Bill catches him and gives him a sidewalk slam onto the outside. That spot looked badass, dude. That was sick. That was cool as hell, man. So this leaves Ricky and Ricky and Sting in the ring, and Ricky is laying up in one of the corners, and Sting goes for a Stinger Splash, and as he's about to hit it, Ricky tears off the turnbuckle pad, and Sting hits the exposed turnbuckle. Ricky is then going to set up for the spear, and he hesitates. He hesitates to hit the spear, and he hit it. Once Sting got up and started pounding his chest, he hit the spear. Sting, though, kicked out. And then Ricky is going for the Rochambeau. Sting escapes. He gets Ricky in the Scorpion Deathlock. Meanwhile, you got Big Bill and Darby. You got Big Bill trying to get in the ring with Darby Allin on his back. Darby Allin eventually pushes Big Bill, and him and Big Bill go colliding through a table on the outside to "Holy shit" chants. And then Ricky, he goes for another spear. Sting counters. Scorpion death drop from Sting. And the undefeated streak continues. Sting is a champion once again for the first time since 2011. And this time he is a tag team champion with Darby Allin. I thought the match was awesome. I thought this was a very unpredictable match. I had no idea who was going to win. I'm okay with the outcome. I thought the match was awesome. Phoenix loved it as well. So before we get to the end of the show, let's get your thoughts on the match first.
Yeah, this was amazing. I mean, Sting, every time he's in the ring now, it just continues to amaze me by how much he can do. It's like, it's crazy. It's like he's been doing this for quite a while now with AEW, like just doing these crazy matches. But dude, it's like it's still unbelievable because he's getting older day by day, and yet you still see him doing these crazy spots, like jumping off of mezzanines onto guys and just like taking these big bumps. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know what this dude is made of, man, but he is just, he's immortal. He's straight up more. I mean, I feel like, honestly, like he's at least going to be on mine, but I feel like he really should be on everyone's Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Like he is seriously one of the greatest to ever do it. And the fact that he's in his 60s doing this still at such an efficient level is unreal. Like that is absolutely unreal, man. This was great stuff. And yeah, that spot with Big Bill and Darby Allin on the outside, the black hole slam on the outside, that was unreal too. That had me just like jaw dropped, going just holy shit. Darby Allin, but of course, any match with Darby Allin, he's gonna get murdered. How it goes. But yeah, all four of these guys worked so well together in this match. Tornado tag matches. I mean, they just work so well for the team of Darby and Sting too. And I think it seems like it just works overall better for Sting just because he's able to move around. He's able to work better with that kind of stipulation, and clearly it works because we're in for just a real treat with when he's in the ring in AEW. And but I mean, you look back at his run in AEW, man. We will years from now look back at this very fondly because this guy literally in his 60s had some of the best matches of his career in AEW, man. And I can't thank AEW and Tony Khan enough for giving us Sting and the way he always should have been presented. I'm so happy that this is how his career is going to go in the history books and not how it went in WWE, where
right.
he loses to Triple H at WrestleMania 31 for no reason other than it's just a one final middle finger to WCW. And then unfortunately he suffers that neck injury against Seth Rollins when he fought against him for the world title. I'm so happy that was not the end of Sting's career, because that would have been just the saddest way to go. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy that he was able to get back in the ring and he was able to go to AEW, and AEW was able to get him in there and just present him in the way that he always should have been presented, and presented him in the right way, treated him with the utmost respect. And it's amazing, man. I've had just the time of my life watching Sting in the ring in AEW. Like every single match he's been involved with has been just nothing short of amazing. I mean, like, I don't think that he's had a single bad match in his entire run in AEW. Like, I don't think there's a single match you can go back and watch that he was involved in AEW and be like, wow, that match kind of sucked. No, like literally every match involving Sting, it was great. It was worth the watch. And again, it's amazing. We are truly blessed as wrestling fans that we've gotten to see Sting in this light, presented in the way that he's been presented in AEW. And I couldn't be happier, man. I really couldn't be happier. And now he's a tag team champion with Darby Allin. Probably won't be for long, judging by the ending of the show, which we will get into. But yeah, great stuff tonight, man. I was thoroughly entertained.
I will say this about Sting, and I'm going to give Tony Khan credit here. Throughout the 5 years in AEW, I would say this is probably one of Tony Khan's best accomplishments that he's ever had as the owner of AEW is the way he's booked Sting. He's booked Sting masterfully in AEW with pairing him up with Darby Allin. I mean, that Darby Allin, it took him to the main event being with Sting. He benefited so much from being with Sting throughout Sting's time in AEW. It went too quick, man. It went way too quick, and a lot of people complained why Sting's still here. Sting has killed it in the last 3 years in AEW, and when he's gone, he's got less than a month left. When he's gone, y'all are truly going to miss Sting. I'm telling you. You are going to miss Sting on AEW television when he's gone. Whether he goes out on a high or he loses, you're going to miss him. I'm telling you right now. But I would say it's early in the year, but this is probably the best ending to a wrestling show all year. I thought the ending on Sunday with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams was great as well. This was great. The Young Bucks spoiled the party. They hit Sting's knee with a pipe. They attacked Sting's sons. They viciously attacked Darby Allin with the pipe. Super kicks nonstop. They were wearing white suits and they had blood all over their suit. Double super kicks to Darby Allin. Then they go after Sting, and Sting's bleeding, and Matt Jackson's got blood all over his suit. And this was the best part about that angle. They go to hit the BTE trigger on Darby Allin, and they hit the BTE trigger on Darby Allin, and Excalibur says, hey, you know what? I talked to the Young Bucks today, and they told me that it's no longer the BTE trigger, it is the EVP trigger. Extremely violent people. I laughed out loud. That was awesome. This crowd did not laugh, though. This crowd booed the Young Bucks out of the building. The Young Bucks were soaking this shit in, man, and it was awesome. And I said this when we were off air, before we hit record. There's a legit question of what should main event Revolution. You have this Sting's retirement for the tag team titles, and you have the triple threat for the world championship. We are a month away for Revolution. My opinion might change, but man, after what I saw tonight, to end this show, I'm lobbying for this match to main event Revolution. I really am. This was incredible. The amount of heat that the Young Bucks got in this segment was incredible, man. Let's get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, this was just a perfect way to end the show. Having the Young Bucks come out, attack Sting and Darby and Sting's sons, middle of the ring, busting open Darby and just wiping his blood all over their suits. I mean, it's just great stuff here. This is the kind of heel heat that the Young Bucks definitely needed going into a potential tag title match between them and Sting and Darby at Revolution. And yeah, Joseph, I think I'm with you on you say that this should probably be the main event. This is Sting's retirement match, and this has been the main focal point of Revolution. Is the main really just the biggest focus going into Revolution is the fact that this is going to be Sting's last match ever. After this, no more Sting matches. That's it. He's done. And yeah, I mean, with the way everything ended tonight, I think this could be a great way to main event the pay-per-view on March 3rd. We'll see what happens. It's either that or we get the triple threat world title match, but that's going to be a banger as well. But I feel like with the overall story you have here and with the whole, with the Sting's retirement being the biggest focus going into this, I would not be surprised whatsoever if this does get that main event spot. I think it deserves it. And it's great for the tag titles as well, because the tag titles for quite some time just haven't really been a focus. I feel like once the Young Bucks didn't really have as much control over creative, I feel like the tag team division took a step back and the tag team titles kind of took a step back. But now it's like, now that they're on Sting and Darby, and I know it's just only kind of a temporary time, most likely. Um, but it's still great to just see the tag titles kind of in that forefront again, because tag team wrestling should always be a focus on any wrestling program, no matter what. Tag team wrestling is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. You can create. We have over the years have seen some of the greatest storylines, the greatest matches come out of tag team matches. I mean, look back at like the NXT Black and Gold days, with the tag team division they had there during NXT's prime. I would say, I mean, I know NXT they got a lot of great young talent now, but I mean, we talk about that era of NXT Black and Gold. That's a special era.
Right.
But even with AEW's inception, like they put such a focus on tag team wrestling, they really need to get back to that, because I really want to care more about the tag team wrestling again. Because again, like I said, tag team wrestling is a beautiful, beautiful thing when it comes to the landscape of professional wrestling. And I feel like they really need to put a focus on it again. And with this match being set up here for a Revolution, with the Young Bucks being heels and getting that genuine heel heat from the Phoenix crowd tonight, it's just going to carry over into all the other crowds they're going to come across into the Revolution crowd when they get to March 3rd. I mean, that's what you need right there. And decided this was perfect. I wouldn't have honestly changed a thing about it. This was just a great way to send off the show and to head into the Revolution with the momentum going with this storyline, and with Sting's retirement being the biggest focus point and all that. So yeah, great stuff all around.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is one way to get back to where the tag team titles were, because, I mean, the amount of heat that is going to be had for this match, first of all, it being Sting's retirement and the heel work that the Young Bucks are going to have. I mean, you are looking at getting it back on track, and the tag team titles, they have not been in this big of a spotlight since I would say um, when it was FTR against the Young Bucks at All In. They have not had a big spotlight since. Um, Ricky Starks and Big Bill, they are great talents. They are, but they did not do jack shit with the AEW tag team titles, nor did they make me care about the AEW tag team titles. Not only is this going to make me care about the titles, this is going to get the titles into the main event scene now, and more than likely, not my official prediction, the Young Bucks are probably going to win the titles, and there's a possibility that if the Young Bucks win the tag team titles, that later on this year, with how awesome of a heel run this could be of the Young Bucks, this could get FTR back in the tag team title division. And that's what we need. That's really what we need, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting stuff. I'm expecting this whole run here going with Sting and Darby and transitioning into the Young Bucks. I think we're going to be in for a real treat. And like you said, it's really going to put that focus and that stamp on the tag team division once again, the tag team titles. Because yeah, I mean, you gotta always put a focus on tag team wrestling, no matter what company it is. Tag team wrestling needs to be a major focus on any wrestling program.
Exactly. So, fantastic show tonight. The energy was there. Shout out to Phoenix. We're on the road to Revolution. It's very exciting. Now, off topic, very quickly, it's the Super Bowl this weekend. Who do you got?
All right, well, I'm going to have to go with the San Francisco 49ers, man. I'm not a Swiftie, and I refuse to be a Swiftie, and I'm honestly tired of the Chiefs. I'm just over it at this point. I give them all the credit in the world. I do. They have established themselves as one of the great franchises, and if they win Sunday, I mean, you got yourself a dynasty, but personally, I would like to see the 49ers take home the trophy, just because I just don't want to hear the media just go on and on and on about Taylor Swift. I'm just one of those people that's just like, I'm good, man. I'm over it, but it should be fun, man. I'm looking forward to this Sunday night. It should be a good game.
Yeah, here's what I'll say about it really quick, then we'll get out of here. Um, it's the Super Bowl. I'm going to watch regardless because it is the Super Bowl, but I'm having a hard time caring about the game this year. I really am. I'm having a hard time trying to make myself care about this Super Bowl this year, man. If the Lions were in it or if the Ravens were in it, then, dude, it's the Super Bowl. I'm excited. I could cheer for the Lions. I could cheer for the Ravens. Um, even though they kicked the crap out of the Dolphins this year. But I don't like either team, and I'm having a hard time caring. And as far as who I think is going to win, I just can't pick Brock Purdy over Patrick Mahomes. I can't do it.
Understandable. I get it. Hey, Patrick Mahomes, man, best quarterback in the league. I get it.
Right. So that's all we got tonight, though. There's your little insight on the Super Bowl for those of you that care. But we're out, man. Wes, it was great to have you back tonight, man. Fantastic show tonight. And we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow night to talk about the WrestleMania 40 press conference in Las Vegas. So be sure to tune in for tomorrow night. Comment down below your thoughts on tonight's show. Hit the like button. Follow me on Twitter, Conlon_Joseph. Wes, send us home.
Oh, you already know you can find me over on TikTok and Instagram at The Real Wesley Snipes. Again, that is at The Real Wesley Snipes on both TikTok and Instagram. Joseph, thank you so much again for having me on tonight to talk AEW Dynamite. Great show all around. I'm excited for Revolution. I'm excited for Big Business, March 13th in Boston. And I cannot wait for the next time I'll be on here. Whenever that may be, could be next week. We'll work it out. But it was great to just be here tonight to talk pro wrestling, the sport that we love so much. And Joseph, go ahead and send us on home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Conlon, Wesley Williams, we're signing off. Have a good night. Stay safe, and as always, stay classy. Peace.